Welcome to Indie Possible. Really quick, I have a Nikon F mount lens conversion to show you. What we have here are two Tamron 70-200 f2.8 telephoto lenses. Now the big difference is one is a Nikon and one is meant for a Minolta AF mount or Sony Alpha mount. I did the conversion to test the idea that you could take the same model with different mounts and swap them. I really wanted to get a telephoto lens for my Nikon D4, but the prices were pretty high, and so I thought I would just take a couple of lenses that were broken and try to swap the parts out. I wasn't able to find two of the same lenses to try to fix one lens with, but what I ended up doing was being able to test the idea that you could take two of the same model of Tamron lenses and just do a mount conversion. What I ended up finding out was that really the big difference between these lenses, as far as what they use to build the bodies, are this top part right here. The bells of them are the same. I couldn't find any differences in how the bells connect. Just at the top part mostly. If you'll notice, the Minolta one has just a flat cylinder at the top, while the Nikon F mount one has kind of an angled cylinder on the top. But other than that, it's kind of difficult to tell the difference, even though the Nikon one actually has a motor in it and the Minolta one uses a screw drive autofocus. Originally, I tried to fix the Nikon one because it had been snapped off at the bell, and I thought maybe I could just repair that one and use it. Since for $90, I would be getting a pretty nice telephoto lens. But after I repaired it, it only partially worked. From about 130 to 200 millimeters, the focus always seemed kind of soft. And the motor struggled because the bell inside had to be sanded to make it fit correctly. And it just didn't fit perfectly. So this one has a little resistance. And so for the motor, it makes it difficult to focus as fast as it could and as finely as it could. It works, just not up to a professional standard or just a reliable standard. So then I decided, well, if it's not going to work to a standard which I can put up with, the focus part of it, let's try doing a conversion. So originally I had tried to get a Canon EF lens because I have a Canon EF adapter for a Nikon Z6. And it turned out that the lens I bought was actually a Minolta one. This Minolta body was in very, very good condition, but it didn't have an autofocus motor in it, and it obviously wouldn't work with either of my Nikon cameras. So what I ended up doing was disassembling them to see how different they were inside. And really the big difference was up here. Now things like the ribbon cable that comes from underneath these focus rings and the zoom ring, it has two sets of connectors that work their way up here. Well, the ribbon cables are different, and so are the openings of them. So I had to take off this much of the camera and swap them. But in the end, I ended up getting two lenses, one that sort of works and one that works perfectly.